Today we're looking at the vector, and the first thing that we're going to do is demonstrate how to make the seat pan wider. First thing I need to do is take the cushions out and set them aside. Then we will move the base into a tilt so that we can have access to the bolts on the bottom that are the structural members that hold the whole thing together. Use your 5mm Allen wrench to break them free. There are 4 of these, 2 on each side. The next thing I'm going to do is use a 3mm Allen wrench on my ratchet to loosen up all of the slotted ones in the plate, in the seat plate. They don't have to be taken completely out, they just have to be loosened up enough to allow the parts to slide past each other. So about 4 or 5 good turns on each one should have it good to go. The next step is to actually remove this center plate so that we can actually adjust what holes these bolts go in after the width has been adjusted. There is an 8mm nut on the other side of these bolts that require the use of a 3mm Allen wrench to actually rotate. The next thing that we need to do is remove this back component so that we can actually have access to the bolts in this cross member. It requires the removal of 4 bolts. It uses a Phillips head screwdriver. The next section is here. We need to take out the bolts here and here to allow that section to actually be squeezed together. That will require a 4mm Allen wrench, and again the crescent wrench to hold the nut on the other side. The next section is going to be these top bolts will have to be removed. It will require use of a 4mm Allen wrench. What you're going to find is that there are 4 bolts up here. All 4 of them are 4mm. And will all have to come out. Once we have this bolt out, this set of bolts out, then it'll be time to actually shrink or increase the width of this particular wheelchair. So the next step is to actually shrink this unit. What I'm going to do is take it in 1 inch on each side. I'm going to start that by hitting here and here to close that frame in a little bit. I'll be looking at the bolt holes see when they line up. So that one is lined up. I'm going to tilt it back. Be sure to hold on to the backrest to keep it from flopping, because it will flop. Once I get that lined up, I'll take my 5mm Allen wrench and replace this bolt. I will do the same thing on both sides. Now we will tilt it forward. It's very important to get your holes lined up so that this is in the center. You'll have these holes up here to align and the ones on the bottom support bar. We'll look at that in a minute. Once we have them lined up, remember that you have to, sometimes these holes will be out of alignment, and it's because this has been pushed forward or flopped back a little bit. So you may have to articulate this back and forth to rotate this inner pipe until the holes actually line up. The next section we're going to do is these lower bolts. And what you can see when you're looking through the holes, I can move this back and forth a bit, and that can actually change the position of the holes on the inside. So we really want to use our eyes and then see where those holes are to get them lined up nicely before we try to put them in. Once we got these bolts in here and here, replaced the back pad here and got these bolts in along the back. And the last thing that we're going to do to complete this is replace the back panel. And that completes going from an 18-inch width to a 16-inch width.